so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness, which creates and animates all things. Now, of course, understanding this powerful truth is one thing. Applying this incredibly empowering wisdom to everyday life? Well, that's another, which is exactly why we provide you with a fresh serving of soul food for thought 5 days a week to help constantly remind you of what matters most. You are it. And I'm your host, Brandon Beecham. I'm the reflection and extension of you who will be here each Wednesday interviewing a different consciousness changemaker. And on the other 4 weekdays, leading the way to ensure that your perspective is consistently expanded, your vibration is constantly elevated, and your heart is overflowing and full. Also, before we jump into today's episode, I'd like to take a moment to tell you about a few sponsors that not only help to make it possible to produce this show 5 days a week, but that I'm also genuinely passionate about promoting, especially since they're helping to fund all the cool projects we have in the works, such as the Positive Head app, the docuseries that I'm intending to begin shooting within the next year, and whatever else we dream up over here at Positive Headquarters to help spread consciousness across the planet. Now, if you're short on time or just super excited for today's topic and want to dive right in and skip these ads, feel free to fast forward about
4 minutes
to get right into today's show. That being said, I strongly encourage you to listen because the reason I'm passionate about my sponsors is because they've made a huge impact in my own life, which is why I've aligned with these organizations. And I firmly believe they can do the same for you too. The first longtime stellar supporter of the show that I want to mention is Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online with over 8,000 video titles. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. The second sponsor I'm extremely passionate about promoting is Purium. It's no mystery that bringing your mind, body, and spirit into balance is necessary if a person truly intends to manifest the greatest and greatest version of themselves. And as of recording this, it's been about 4 months since I started taking the Purium Core 4 superfood products every day. And I can honestly and sincerely say my mind, body, and spirit have never felt more in alignment. If you've been looking for a way to easily get superfoods into your system every day with a simple plan that can help you reestablish a healthier foundation and relationship with food, I cannot recommend for you to start with the Purium 40-Day Ultimate Nutrition Plan, which includes a 10-day metabolic reset and cleanse enough. I spent personally months researching Purium before I jumped in, and now myself and over 150 other positive heads have started with the 40-Day Ultimate Nutrition Plan, and many of us have continued taking the Core 4 products on an ongoing basis daily ever since. I personally intend to take them for the rest of my life because they played a huge role transforming my vibrational state. If you decide to do it, it'll cost you just over $7 a day for the first 40 days and only about $5 a day after. But if you do it the way that I recommend you to do it, the smartest and most beneficial way, it won't cost you anything. I recommend you to just look at where you can reallocate money you are already spending on food each day. Essentially, you're just going to swap out the unhealthiest stuff you're in the habit of purchasing in exchange for Purium superfoods. And this way, it costs you nothing to participate in the transformation and cleanse. And it creates exponential benefit because now you've replaced something that lowers your vibration with something that is going to make you feel super high in the healthiest kind of way. Just take a few minutes, see where you can cut out $5 to $7 a day and commit to doing it. It's that simple. Also, for support, we'll be doing a big group transformation with other positive heads and soul family once each month for support. So I recommend, going right now, ordering your 40-day Ultimate Nutrition Plan bundle so that you have it when the next group transformation starts. Procrastination is not your friend. Order it now. You can thank me later, because I can assure you, you will not be sorry you've decided to send a message to the universe that you're ready to step up your vibrational game and reclaim your health sovereignty. Just head over to ishoppurium.com. That's spelled ISHOPPURIUM.com. Be sure to use the code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word, for either $50 off or a 25% discount, whichever is greater. And also, if you want to learn more details about the Purium products, why I'm so passionate about promoting them beforehand, you can go check out several videos I shot discussing these things in greater detail. You can also hear my interview with the very inspiring founder, David Sandoval. Much, much more over at positivehead.com/transformation. All right, all you positive heads, welcome, welcome. Here we grow again. It is a magical Monday here in the studio as I record, and it's extra super duper magical because I have the lovely fairy godmother herself, Sonya Sophia, here with me today to help steer the ship. It's been a while. Sonya, welcome.
Hi, Brandon. Thank you for inviting me back. I'm so pleased to be with you all.
Oh, well, it's always lovely to have you help steer the ship. And for those of you who don't know, Sonya runs the World Tapping Circle, EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. And she's been a regular co-host for over a year and a half, probably at least. How long has it been, Sonya? Do you know?
Almost 2 years, yeah.
Wow. And we got to spend some time in person. I stayed with Sonya down in Austin, Texas last spring with my son. It was amazing. And yeah, she's such an amazing soul. And, the most popular workshop at Burning Man for many years has been Sonya's tapping circles. And maybe Sonya, just because it's been a minute since you've been on, last summer, I think, maybe you can just take a minute and explain for those who don't know about your work, what EFT is, what tapping is. You can just explain briefly.
Sure. Well, tapping is a quick hack through the subconscious conditioning to get you back into flow state. So it's a way that you can percussively tap on the meridians of the body and expedite processing. So it's not a way to avoid feelings. It's a way to move through them, to honor yourself, to honor your fears, to honor the love inside you, to honor the genius that wants to come through, and to move obstacles out of your way by dissolving them with empathy, love, forgiveness, compassion, and self-acceptance. Anything that doesn't give you that is probably not going to work well in the long run. And we know we've tried all kinds of things to avoid and to go over and to kind of bypass or to go around. And truthfully, those obstacles will slide right back in until they are met head on with your own kind, loving heart. And so what tapping does is it directs love internally to where the issues are lodged. And it's a way to get it out of your cells, get it out of your cellular memory, out of your DNA. And people process and off-gas stored stress very rapidly when they put time into this work. So I see it as a shortcut because it's straight through, and a way to download who you really are and finish bringing it to the world. Yeah,
and there's a lot of very notable teachers and influencers in our community who are big advocates of tapping. And it's, what comes to mind when you're just talking about that, avoidance versus going through, the book Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And he talks a lot about that and how a lot of our lifetime is, creating, we sort of have these thorns in our side that we build contraptions all around to, so we can sleep on our side and without it poking us. We build our whole lives to avoid these things. Whereas if you actually face them and go through them, you process them and release them. And tapping is that's what I love about it. It's such a simple powerful way. I mean, when I first met you or saw you, I hadn't met you yet at the time, participating in a tapping circle with, hundreds of people at Burning Man, and just seeing the emotional releases that were happening as you so gracefully, in the way that you do best, in my opinion, guided everyone through these emotions and draw their attention to them and allowing them to creating a safe space to process them. And of course, with World Tapping Circle, that's what you do on a mass scale, with people all around the globe. And it's just such a beautiful, beautiful work that you've diligently. How many years have you been doing this now?
I've been leading tapping circles for 12 years in person and 5 years online, coming up in February.
Wow. That's the dedication right there.
Well, thank you. It's, I realize that we need to get this party started. We need to be able to mass batch on a regular basis the fears and the traumas and the abuses and the stresses of what's been happening here in this world and the inherited, accumulated patterns, right? It's not just someone having a bad day or a parent abusing a child, but it's past life memory, it's cultural conditioning, it's leftover residue from slavery and war and, the Great Depression and all kinds of things like that, where people are still feeling the reverberations. And the interesting thing is that that's all of our work. And as we turn around and say, okay, what is going on inside me? Why do I lose it? Why do I go crazy sometimes? Why do I binge out? Why do I lash out? Why do I implode? Or what is this depression made of? When we stop and bring loving attention on a regular basis to that, it frees up energy. Our brains work better. Your IQ grows because a traumatized brain doesn't process information very well. It doesn't remember things. It sabotages itself. But when you turn with love on the regular basis, suddenly you want to keep your house cleaner. You respect yourself more. You make better arrangements for self-care. You make better agreements. You hold your boundaries more firmly and more lovingly. And you follow through on your word, and you make, stronger commitments to your purpose, and you plan better. There's so much that happens. So my philosophy is, if I could create a space where people could afford that kind of care and make it extremely inexpensive and take out the time factor, like everybody's schedule, take out the money factor where if you can afford a cell phone, you can afford therapy. I took out the travel expenses of driving across town or paying for parking or getting a babysitter, maybe then, and held safe space on a regular basis to where people could actually feel results. Maybe then I could do my part in helping elevate our world so that each person's gift can actually come through. And whatever it is that you're here to do, it gets shined up, it gets connected to all the other parts, and together we move this world forward.
Beautifully said and beautifully executed. I applaud your work. And so today what we're going to do is, you actually, in the Positive Heads Facebook group, which, by the way, if you're not there, we'd love to see you there to connect with other listeners. And, it's a private group, so you can get personal and open up about things you may not want to share elsewhere. And before I say what I'm about to say, I just remembered an announcement. So you guys for a long time have heard me saying that, I love to play a game with the podcast and have people ask your friends if to choose a number between 1 and, I think right now we're at 840 episodes with this one. Choose a number between 1 and 840, and then the first number that comes to your mind, there will, that's an episode for you. There will be some nugget of wisdom in there. Your higher self gave you that number, is why it popped into your head. Go listen, and it's a great way to share and connect with and invite people who haven't played, to play yourself. I love gamifying everything, and also to engage people who maybe wouldn't listen otherwise. And so I finally, with the help of Dalian, we've just created a page. If you go to positivehead.com, you'll see right at the top, care to play a game with the universe and YO universe. And that is, we've made a really cool landing page that makes it really easy and fun to not only play, but also to share it, simply and easily with other people. So I wanted to announce that to you all. Go to positivehead.com, check out the universe landing page and see, and play it yourself. And like I said, it makes it really easy to share via text message or Facebook or email with people that you think would also be intrigued. So it's a wonderful, wonderful way to share this podcast and to help to sort of spread the work that we're doing here. And so I wanted to throw that in real quick because it just popped in my head. What I was saying before that, in the Positive Heads
Brandon,
Facebook.
I just want to say that I did this with you before we started recording this. And I love how it mixes your passion for synchronicity and gives people a chance. It's sort of like a tarot card where you can just pull an episode. Yep. And I landed on number 67, meditation and decision making, which is interesting because I'm also starting to lead meditation retreats and making some big decisions about how to move things forward this year. So I can't wait to hear the episode number 67.
See, it's like, it's that creating a space to co-create with your higher self. And that's how the universe, as we expand and grow, wants to play. It's like, creating a container where synchronicity and magic can unfold. And yeah, there's, we talk about synchronicity on almost every episode. And so, another great example. So it just went live yesterday as of this recording. So I saw my brother and I just showed it to him. And, he always says we're very close in business partners and 2 years apart in age. And so I've always been close. And he always tells people like, yeah, I don't listen to the Positive Head. I've heard enough of this guy to last a lifetime. I don't need to tune in. and so, which I get. And so I just was showing it to him and he's like, read it. He goes, okay. And so he just put in his number. I want to say it was 632. And who came up was, now my brother is Ryan Derrick. Right? That's his middle name. Who came up with Derek Rye Dahl. And I was like, look at that. And not only is it an energetic link that I instantly noticed there, but if I had to think of every guest I've had and knowing my brother as well as I do, there's probably no one that would be a better person for him to listen to get something from. My brother's very articulate and well-spoken and cerebral, and Derek Rydell was that way, and just but had some great wisdom. So I'm like, and he's like, okay, Brandon, you got me. I'm hooked. I'm gonna go. Well done. I'm gonna go listen. I don't know if he will, but he said he would. And so, I was like, wow, that it works, right? I mean, that's a perfect match. And Derek Rydell happens to be one of my favorite guests. I actually have done 3 episodes with him because I just so love his information and how he talks about the law of emergence, first law of attraction, how, anyway, I won't go into what he teaches. Go check him out if you want to, because you can still search the old fashioned way. You search his name and he'll come up too. So it is really, really cool to create it's like you said, it's like tarot or something like that, where you're opening up the possibilities for something beyond the veil to dip its toe in and co-create with us. And that is just so fun to me.
Yeah, I love it too. It opens up the right side of the brain, that creative, intuitive nature. And to keep that part of our brain open and alive is really important in keeping ourselves balanced and healthy and on track.
Yeah. And it's an example of how once you open yourself up to receiving information from beyond just your logical brain, there's, there is a part of ourselves beyond the veil, our higher self, our guides. There's all these extensions and soul family that are in non-physical even, that want to co-create with us. And it's just a matter of us creating a space where we allow it to come in. And that's what I feel like this does in a very playful way. So yeah, I'm excited that it lives and breathes in the world. And I hope you guys go check it out and share it with all your friends and family and anyone that you think would benefit. But
thanks for creating that fun little game for us to play with each other and our families over the holidays.
Yes, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I look forward to hearing some feedback from people of the synchronicity too. So what I was saying before I excitedly remembered the play a game with the universe page was, so what you did, I thought was a really good idea yesterday on or a few days ago on the Positive Heads Facebook group. You asked people what would they like to hear you talk about today, and ultimately for those of you who've never caught an episode with Sonya, she does a mini tap on all of these episodes. So we're going to do that today and speak a little bit about what was some of the feedback that you received, Sonya, as far as suggestions to tap on today.
A lot of people were talking about different versions of fear. I'll just read a couple of them. There was letting go of pain and self-healing, comparing myself to others, releasing stories you tell yourself from your childhood that don't serve you, putting myself out there, fear of abandonment, trusting yourself, speaking your truth, overcoming fears, overcoming guilt and shame, releasing fear and grief. And
a lot of fear.
I put on that thread, we do have a Positive Head World Tapping Circle link. And I just want to say that we can only do so much in these episodes. This is really just like an appetizer. And what I'd love to give you is the entree, because you can get a taste of this, but that deep satisfaction of completing something really only happens when you have put the focus into it. And it's hard to do that just on a show. You'll get a taste. But what I want you to do is go in and get full and really feel that satisfaction of releasing something from your nervous system and giving yourself that beautiful space back. And I'll just let you guys know that Brendan and I created a really good deal for you, and it's not available anywhere else. And it's worldtappingcircle.com/positive head. And there you will see all kinds of different ways to use tapping and to try it out for almost half of what it's promoted for elsewhere in the world. But what I did with this, all these suggestions, and they're still coming in, is cook it down to facing our fears with love. Because I want you all to be able to use this on whatever is stirring things up for you. And when I look at human emotion and human becoming, which I've spent 25 years studying how people grow and mature and heal in the human condition, it comes down to two really simple things. It's either a fear-based motivation or a love-based motivation. And most of what's not working for us is because the motivation is rooted in fear. So when you turn around to whatever it is that's scaring you, whatever it is that, even if you think, no, I'm not afraid, I'm angry, look deeper. Why are you angry? Oh, because I'm trying to protect myself from something. What are you trying to protect yourself from? Well, I don't want that to happen again. So I'm afraid of losing my power. I'm afraid of being taken advantage of. See, so when you really, really boil it down, it's going to be something to do with fear. And so what I want you to do in this session with me is get personal. Find something inside you right now that is driving you a little nuts or is creating anxiety or worry or fear for you. Maybe it's about hanging out with your family in the next few weeks. Maybe it's about the new year coming up. Maybe it's something in your relationship or something in your career, and use this to test tapping to see if you get any kind of result. And if you do, it means that this works well for your nervous system. And some different healing modalities work better than others for different types of people. I find that tapping works unilaterally about 98% of the time with anyone who's open-minded enough and humble enough to apply it to themselves. So this is a taste test for you to turn around and say, okay.
An appetizer, if you will.
Let me get in here and see if this actually will work.
Yeah, I want to just throw out real quick. I love looking at fear, FEAR, forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. And this is such a wonderful way to face everything and rise. And so, I just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
That's a beautiful anachronism, Brandon. I've never heard that. I love it.
Isn't it good?
Yeah. And, people, I struggle sometimes because what I'm offering the world isn't fun. This isn't beautiful, easy, simple, yay, yay, yay. This is hard. Turning around and taking yourself to task isn't fun. So what I've tried to do is make it as fun and joyous and peaceful and kind and simple and easy on the eyes. And many hands make light work. So we are creating an experience where we are recycling the debris that we are left with internally together. And when we do it together, it is easier. It is more joyous, even if it's, it's difficult, deep, life-changing work. But the great news is it can be done, and it can be done quickly, and it can be done deeply, and you can actually get past these things and move on, and they don't have to trip you up anymore. And this is a technique that you can take with you. You don't need a teacher. You don't need, somebody to constantly be pushing you to do it. I'm there to hold space for you, but you actually can learn this technique and use it on the fly, in the car, on the go, and run and fly.
It's kind of like yoga for me. I could do yoga on my own. What I love about what you've done with the World Tapping Circle, and like you said, you get the whole visual element, which is really cool. You're not really going to get that today because this is an audio podcast. But if you do sign up for World Tapping Circle, then you'll get that whole visual component, which is beautiful. And what I love about it is it's like yoga in the fact that, like I said, I can do yoga on my own, but there's a reason I go down to my class down the road. I like having someone who is so proficient and powerful and holds the space so amazingly and sort of guides me so I can only focus on the work at hand and not, okay, what am I going to do next? Well, what should I say to myself, next in the case of tapping? And so I think that's a wonderful, wonderful comparison because a lot of people listening probably have done yoga and they could see the difference between doing yoga on your own and having someone that, guides the way, leads the way, if you will.
Well, thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. And I'm about to get on with the tapping here. I also want to give you a heads up that our new website and our new user experience is rolling out in middle of January in conjunction with something I'll tell you about called the Winter of Wellness at the end, which is another great online opportunity. And it's also free. And I want to give you all an opportunity to go even deeper with some great masters who are there. But I'll get on to tapping with you.
Well, let's do it.
Okay. So this is a hands-on experience. You can use one or two hands, but take your fingertips and place them on the front of your chest in your upper pectoral region and just feel around for a tender spot in the front of the chest. Going to be a little sore spot that feels a little bit different than the surrounding tissue, and just give it a light massage and give yourself some deep breaths. And with tapping, you want to breathe in through the nose and then out through a nice, relaxed, open jaw so the energy has a good chance of exiting your body. Okay, you might feel some tingling, you might feel waves of emotion, physical sensations, burping, laughing, yawning, feeling suddenly kind of sleepy, feeling a little bit psychedelic. All of that is natural while you're in the process of tapping. Okay, so massaging the fingers on the chest, big deep breath. Now we're going to focus this on that place of fear, and we're going to stay with that one little place of fear in your life. Don't try to do everything at once. Just do one small piece at a time. Brandon, you get an issue in your head too, and I want everyone listening to rate the intensity of that issue. How much fear is actually there? If you were to be honest with yourself. From 0 to 10. And 10 is maximum. And just notice what that number is. Or what the physical sensation is when you think about your issue. Okay? That's our point of departure. So now we're going to take our fingertips and gently tap on the eyebrows, right where your eyebrows begin, right where they get fuzzy. Okay, tapping gently. And we're going to say out loud, even though I have this fear, and breathe, nice relaxed jaw. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Slide down the eyebrows to the edge of the temples, gently tapping. Even though I have this fear, thinking again about your issue. And breathe. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Slide down the temples to the front of the cheekbones, gently tapping on the front of the cheekbones. Part of me feels powerless. I'm tapping under the nose. Part of me feels powerless. Big deep breath. And tapping under the lips. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even if a part of me feels powerless to change this. I'm tapping the front of the chest with one or two hands, just tapping a big circle on the front of the chest. This powerless feeling. I don't like feeling powerless. And tapping down to the front of the rib cage. Put your hands at the bottom of your ribs. Feel where your ribs stick out the most in front. Tap on the bony protrusion at the bottom of your ribs, right on the bones. And saying again, I don't like feeling helpless and powerless. Cross your arms and tap the side of your body, side seam of the body, nipple height, right under your arms. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even though part of me feels afraid. Tuning into that fear that you have again and just noticing it without trying to change it, just bringing your own acceptance to that sensation. Just accepting it for now. Tap the inside of the wrist. So turn your hand towards the sky. Tap the inside of the wrist on the wrist bone. Tapping straight across the wrist. And don't worry if you aren't sure where you're tapping. You're doing it. You're doing just fine. I'm open to loving and expressing myself. Big deep breath again. Nice relaxed open jaw. And tap the side of the thumb. Put your hand like you're going to karate chop something. And you're going to tap that upper edge side of the thumbnail. Right at the tip of the thumb. I'm tired of feeling afraid. Tap the index finger. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tap the middle finger. I'm open to loving and respecting myself, even though I'm really afraid. Big breath. Make some sound with that breath. This fear. So now we're going to switch and tap the bottom of the fourth finger. So just spreading your ring finger and your little finger apart. Tap that bottom edge closest to the little finger side of the bottom of the fourth finger. I accept the part of me that feels nervous and anxious, overwhelmed and afraid. And feel free to edit those words the way you need to. Let's say it again, continuing to tap in the same place. I accept the part of me that feels nervous, anxious, big breath, overwhelmed, and afraid. Tap the original inside edge of the little finger right at the side of the fingernail. I accept the part of me even though I don't like feeling this way. I accept this part of me even though I don't think I should be afraid. Tap the bottom edge of the hand. So if you were going to karate chop something, this is where the karate chop would land. I accept this part of me even though I judge it as unacceptable to be afraid. Big breath. Tapping the top of the head. This fear of, and go ahead and say out loud what it is you're afraid of, having the conversation or making this change, whatever it is for you. Tapping the top of the head, the sides of the head, behind the ears, and the back of the skull. Big breath, tuning in again on what it is that we're talking about here. What is it that you're afraid of? Say it out loud. I'm afraid of... And breathe. Tapping the eyebrows. We're going to do one more round. It's okay for me to be afraid of, and say what it is. Tap the temples. It's really understandable. Tap the front of the cheeks. I have compassion for this part of me that wants to know that I'm safe. Tapping under the nose. Part of me just needs to know that I'm safe. Big breath. Tapping under the lips. It's hard to trust that I'm safe. And tapping the chest. I accept the part of me that wants to know how things are going to work out before I relax. Tapping all over the front of the chest and breathing. Let's say that again. That's a big deal. I accept the part of me that wants to know how things are going to turn out before I can relax. Tapping down to the sternum, big deep breath. And tap the front of the ribs. I'm allowing myself to face this fear with love. Tap the side of the ribs, even though I don't have all the information yet. And tapping the bottom of the rib cage. I'm allowing myself to face this fear with love. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I love and respect myself, even though it's so hard for me to trust and let go. Big breath, just tuning into that part of you that's white knuckling, hanging on, doesn't want to leap into the void, wants security. It's okay to want that. Tap the side of the thumb. I accept the part of me that wants to feel safe. Tap the index finger. I love and respect myself, even with this remaining fear and anxiety, exactly as it is. So open your heart to yourself, tuning into your issue again, noticing what fear and anxiety is still there and why. Big breath. Make some sound with your breath. Tap your middle finger. I accept the part of me that still believes, and what is it that's there? What is this core belief that's creating this fear for you? I'm afraid I'm going to be judged, or I'm afraid I'm going to make a mistake. Maybe it's I'm afraid that I'm going to lose friendship or love. Say that fear 3 times. What is that belief again? I'm afraid that what? Tap the bottom of the 4th finger. Say it again. We're just acknowledging this concern. And breathe. Tapping the little finger. We're going to say that belief one more time. Part of me believes what is going to happen. Tap the side of the hand. I love and accept myself. I honor the part of me that's concerned. I'm also bringing love and empathy to this part of me so that it can relax, connect with the next step, follow through on my truth, and surrender in trust. Tap the top of the head, connecting with the next step. Tap the eyebrows, following through. Big breath. Tapping the temples, allowing myself to trust. Tapping the cheeks, coming back into alignment with love. Tapping under the nose. I'm bringing love into this equation now. Tapping under the lips. I'm bringing my own love. I'm bringing divine love. I'm bringing universal love into the mix now, where there has been fear. Tapping all over the body. It's safe for me to understand. Tapping wherever you feel all over the body. It's safe for me to grow and evolve past this. I'm giving myself the opportunity to face my fears with love again and again. It's getting easier and easier for me to remember how to do this. Big, deep breath and relax. Notice how you feel. Tuning into that issue that you had at the beginning of the session. What number do you give it now? And if we were in the World Tapping Circle in this moment of the tapping session, you would put that into the chat so that we could all see, oh, it was a 10, and now it's a 5, maybe it's a 2. We would tap for another 20 minutes or so, and then you would be free. Be clear on the next step. You'd have your feet on the ground, your heart open, your intuition shining, feeling purified and strong and loved. And this sweet family is something I want you to come do with us. I want to hold your heart and help you get through this. There is no reason that you need to struggle alone. So come tap with us, come tap with me and Team Love in the World Tapping Circle. We love you. We've got a beautiful space for you. And we're here to hold your hand and help us all get through together. You showing up for you is you showing up for all of us. Well, thank you, Brandon, for this
That was so lovely. That was, you've probably been on at least 10 times in the last couple of years. And that was the most powerful tap for me personally that I've had. So it's interesting, having been exposed to it for a very long time, now to see the progression. That tap resonated with me as soon as you said, name your biggest fear. It's like it instantly came right up, and to actually consciously go into it with a, as Bashar would call it, a permission slip,
Mm-hmm.
Here's a way, this is your all powerful being. But sometimes to go from A to Z is difficult just by saying abracadabra, I can create and heal anything. But if you give ourselves a technique and a permission slip in a way, then it creates, I see how I took the journey. I've got the story to go with it, which allows me to suspend disbelief enough to actually invite in healing and create a space for true magic to occur. So thank you for this one, particularly for me personally. I know everyone else enjoyed it, and I know people will want to go over to worldtappingcircle.com/positive head to dive deeper. Some people will, and for those of you who don't, Sonya will be back to do these mini taps, and you can search on positivehead.com. You can search Sonya, and all the previous mini taps will be there. And, you can, of course, that's all free stuff for you guys. So, So Sonya, as we kind of wind down here, would you like to tell them about the other event that you mentioned? Okay.
Yeah, there's two quick things I want to mention. One is that I am deeply honored to be invited to an online event that's free called Winter of Wellness. It is coming out January 14th through the 18th. It's an online summit. There are 40 world class, like the best of the best, my heroes. And I'm sitting here, pinch me, I'm dreaming. I'm on the list with people whose books are on my bookshelves, who've been mentoring me through their workshops and seminars and Gaia TV series. Like Greg Braden is on there.
Who's been on the show. Yeah, he's been on here. Dr.
Christy Northrup, Donna Eden, Dawson Church. I mean, there's 40 amazing people who, I'm just still like, oh my gosh, I'm there. Wow, cool, amazing. They're going to be talking. Thank you. Yeah. They're going to be talking about healing with medicinal plants and herbs, essential energy medicine. There'll be a couple other people on there talking about EFT along with me. People eating for a thriving body and planet, herbs and oils, activations, neurology, the relationship between our health and the health of our planet, and healing chronic illnesses and health issues, toxins in the environment. So I wanted to hip you guys to it because I know you're all looking for things to make your lives better and make the world a better place. So the link to join us on this free online event is bit.ly, bit.ly/Winter of Wellness 2019. So I'll say it again, write it down. bit.ly, bit.ly/Winter of Wellness 2019. And you'll get to hear my presentation. You'll get to hear all these other cool people. It's beautiful. I hope you guys take advantage of it.
Excellent. January 14th through 18th, right?
Yep. January 14th through the 18th.
All right. Well, Sonya, this was absolutely amazing, as always. Thank you so much. Like I said, that was my favorite tap we've done thus far, and I so appreciate your diligence and in always connecting with you. I always step away feeling so uplifted, and you're such a beautiful reflection. Thank you so much for coming on again. And you have a song queued up for us, don't you, from our mutual friend?
It's a beautiful song by Pia, who is a musical artist out of Scandinavia. And she's just released a new album in the last few days. All That You Are is the song I wanted you to hear. She's a lovely person. And her music is truly very uplifting.
Angelic artist, musician, descended to earth to serenade us with her beautiful voice and message. This is Fia, All That You Are. Thank you for all that you are, all of you listeners, and Sonya. Until next time, journey well. Also, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is my personal go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear me constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place I know of to do it, period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out.
Those who speak about the light while banishing the dark are walking around cut in half, living from the head while denying the flesh will only get you so far. We came to this earth to experience it all, the messy and the beautiful. Show me that you're human, I will kiss your scars, celebrating everything, all that you are. I'm a sinner, I'm a saint, this I have embraced, enjoying every aspect of life. Perfection is dull and unattainable, leaving me craving what is real. We came came to this earth to experience it all, the messy and the beautiful. So show me that you're human, I will kiss your scars, celebrating everything, all that you are. We have gathered here today to witness the marriage between two seemingly opposites. Shadow loving light, light loving shadow, an ending to the inner war. We came to this earth to experience it all, the messy and the beautiful. Show me that you're human, I will kiss your scars, celebrating everything. We came to this earth to experience it all, the messy and the beautiful. So show me that you're human, I will kiss your scars, celebrating everything, all that you